Hey y'all.
What's up?
How's it going? We back, Rachel and Merlin, with
A Q&A, just like we said we were.
another video for y'all. So, we posted on social media asking for questions and we received an array of them, but we chose a few that we thought were pretty interesting that we'd like to share with y'all. So the first question we have from Shannon Carvajal is how we met. So, you know, start that one off.
Yeah. So we knew each other in high school pretty much from a mutual friend. And then we just knew each other through church and we would just say hey. And then my high school graduation, like 2 days before, me and my friend Katie, which is the mutual friend that I met him through, we were eating with her mom at Italian Pie, and him and his friend Peasy Tyler were coming into Italian Pie just to get or order a pizza or something, and he saw us, so he obviously, him being the people person that he is, he was gonna come and say hello. And so he came and said hello, like walked around and came to talk to me and Katie and her mom. And just how we were sitting, it was like Katie and her mom on one side of the booth and me by myself, so he had to come sit next to me.
Okay.
And we were just catching up, you know, asking how we've been because we haven't seen each other. All of us haven't seen each other in so long. And then when we were going to leave, I was walking out and I looked at Katie's mom and I was like, oh my gosh, he is just so cute. And Katie's mom thought it was funny, and so she was like, oh, I'm gonna tell him, don't worry. So me and Katie took off out the door to leave. And then what'd she do?
Okay, so then Rachel and Katie got in their car and left. Me and Peasy got in my car, so we were getting ready to drive off, and Michelle pulled up next to me and she was like, hey, I just want to let you know Rachel thinks you're cute. And so I was like, what? I was like, well, hook it up then. So I texted Katie for Rachel's number and got it, but I got her number and I didn't text her for like 8 hours, so she was expecting my text the whole time.
Yeah,
so
because obviously me and Katie were still together when he asked her,
wait
for my number, so I knew.
Yeah, so I made her wait. So
and then
yeah, and that was it. And then we started hanging out and texting and stuff like that, and then I actually beat my girlfriend at 12 midnight.
Yep, with flowers and Oreos.
I bought her some flowers and Oreos. So that's how we met.
Yep.
Second question we have from everybody is
how soon do we want kids? How many kids do we want? And if we already have names picked out. So
I want 3. I want a boy and 2 girls.
I want 2. I'm not opposed to 3 if the 2 are good. And I want all girls.
I don't want to do that.
And we plan on waiting 2 years.
2 years. So I don't know how long that'll last, but we'll see.
2 years.
And I don't have any names picked out.
I have one name picked out and it's for a girl.
Yeah, but we're not gonna tell you that though. That might come in a future video. Subscribe.
I don't want to tell people and then they steal my name.
Subscribe for that. All right, third question from Rachel Stewart is, what does centering your relationship around God entail for you guys? I don't think that one's too difficult to answer. I think the main thing is just making sure that God is the center, because we have gone through a lot of tough times between like me moving to Texas and long distance relationships. So I think is keeping each other accountable is huge, and just making sure that when something does come up, we don't try to fix it ourselves, but we we rely on God to help get us through it, and we keep the faith that He's going to handle every situation that comes up, good or bad. So we like to say, give Him the praise in the good times, give Him praise in the bad times. Yeah. You have anything?
Yeah, I was gonna say I think for me, because I really didn't go to church growing up at all, or even like as a young adult, I guess, like a teenager, until I met him and we started dating. And so I think like being really patient was really good for us. And like he taught me a lot and was really patient with me through like the learning process and everything.
Cool. Alright. This one is by Dami. It's what's life like being in a interracial relationship and in love. So I think, I mean, in Louisiana it's fine because it's a normal thing in Slidell.
But yeah,
when she was in Hattiesburg, that was
a whole different story.
Yeah, that was a whole different. So like I would visit and we'd like go to the mall or go out to eat and stuff like that. And it's Mississippi, but I mean, there's lots of black people, but at the same time, like we got lots of looks, like pretty much every time we went somewhere. And after a while, it became pretty annoying because people just stare at us, and like I'm not talking just like nonchalantly, like they're like in our face staring because like we're an interracial couple walking around. So we've never had any issues with like people being discriminatory towards us because we are interracial, but
it's mostly just like people will look at us different.
Yeah.
And definitely the worst was in Mississippi, and then that one time in Alabama.
Oh.
That was the two worst times. Like we've been to Tennessee and like haven't gotten anything. We've been to Florida,
Texas.
It's just been in Mississippi. Like that was the worst. It was like one time we were in academy and he went in the dressing room to go try things on, like try on shorts, and the guy stared at us from when like we walked to the dressing room and I was waiting for him outside. He still stared at me as he was in the dressing room, and I was like,
yeah. So
okay,
but it's all good. They don't know no better. Next question. So Megan Kalungus is, where are we going on our honeymoon?
I have to sneeze.
God bless you.
Oh, it went away. Okay, so our honeymoon, we are going on a cruise for 7 days. And we will be going to Cozumel, Belize, Costa Maya, and Roatan. And so I've been to Cozumel, Roatan, and Belize before, but I have not been to Costa Maya, and that was something that I made sure of when looking at the cruises, was that there was at least one place that I haven't been to, because I always want to go to new places. So going to the same place, like it still would have been really special because he's never been, but I still wanted to do something new also. So.
And I've never been on a cruise, and it's cheap. So. And
we looked for Belize too, in hopes of his grandpa being able to come inland to come and see us.
Yeah, we talked about it in the last video. Check that one out. This one's from Jenna, her little. Where would you want to live, and why? I think if we had a choice, and it was in the United States, it'd probably be Texas, just because my heart's in Texas. Shout out Navarro and my FIFMU fam. But it'd be good for her too because of the hotels and how busy it is there, and then the cost of living there is cheap also, and there's just a lot to do there in comparison to Slidell or New Orleans. Like we grew up here, so we kind of did everything between Mardi Gras and parades and stuff like that. So getting out to a different state like Texas would definitely be good for us. So.
Yeah, we've also like talked about it before of just doing like a year in another state just to say we did live somewhere else, because I love Louisiana and I love living in Slidell area, but I think it'd be awesome just living in another city and state just for like a year or so, just to see what it's like over there.
Alright, now we have from Peasy, shout out my boy, who has the bigger butt? So we were gonna look for a measuring tape, but we didn't got one, so we're just gonna give y'all
we're just gonna stand and y'all tell us what you think has a bigger butt.
We're gonna give y'all a side by side. So we got a
So y'all can be the judge.
I don't know. Mine might be more firm than yours.
Who has the bigger butt?
So, you be the judge of that one. Leave it in the comments below. Let us know who has the bigger butt, Rachel or Merle. Alright, this one's from my boy Cody. He said, long distance relationships hardly ever actually work out. How did y'all manage to actually stick it out through all these years?
So, if you didn't know, we started dating in July of 2014, 1 month before I was going to school. So, immediately our relationship was long distance from the start.
So, I mean, Hattiesburg is only an hour away, but it's always been long distance. And then 2016, I moved to Texas to Cherry Navarro. So we were
8 hours.
9 hours away.
Yeah.
So it turned into even more long distance. So that was probably the hardest. But I mean, I think going back to the other question, centering your relationship around God, like it took a lot of trust and building to be able to make it through that, because that was probably the toughest time in our relationship. Looking back on it, that was definitely the hardest time. But I mean, I think keeping the faith in God and like learning to trust each other through everything that had happened and rebuilding our relationship where we left off before I moved, and just growing. You know, I think I needed to go away for that time, and I think it was good for me individually, and I think it was also good for her individually, because we had like time away from each other to grow. And I think that time that we took to grow, when we came back together, like it was stronger than ever. So I think it definitely made the difference in where we are now.
And then something we also did was we would pretty much FaceTime every night if we could, and then if not, like every other night. And we talked all day throughout the day. So like there was always communication happening of like what's going on in the day, or like in our life, or like even if like we got frustrated about something, like we would call each other right then and there. So it was like we were here getting frustrated, but we weren't. And then when I would come home on the weekends when he was in Slidell, before I would leave on Sundays, we would always pray together about whatever the week was holding, or just to pray that like we would have the strength to stay together and be open with each other like for the weeks to come, like until we saw each other again.
So yeah, Jesus is the key. To break it down in simpler terms, God is the key to everything that we have today. You know, without God, we wouldn't be here. So, all praise to the man. All right. Last question we have is, where will you be living once you are married? So.
Wait, we just got another question. Let's answer this one first.
Okay.
So we just got another question from my sister, Kaylin. And she said, how do you plan on keeping your marriage happy?
This video's gonna be so long.
So, I think something that me and Merle are always really good at is that we joke a lot. Like, pretty much 90% of our relationship is us joking with each other and laughing.
Yeah.
And like 10% seriousness. So, I know that's something that I plan on continuing. Like, we're like really little kids deep down on the inside.
I don't like her.
And so I know, like, we'll always be able to joke and kid. Even...
I kid. I think it's her. We had to do some research into our love languages. That way we knew what we liked and what I liked and what she liked. So, going off of that, hers is like touch and quality time and stuff like that. So I think just... What was it?
Words of affirmation.
Oh, words of affirmation and touch. So we just have to play off of those to keep each other happy, and you know, we'll see what happens. So the big question, well, we were holding out on it, but we can throw it into this. Where will we be living after we are married? So if y'all don't, nobody knows except a few people, but we are in the process of buying
a house.
Yes, so we are trying to close. Please pray that everything goes through smoothly, because it hasn't been. But please pray, because this would be excellent for us. Another step into our life and our relationship and buying a house and stuff like that. So we're supposed to close like 2 or 3 days before the wedding, so next week's gonna be a little nuts. So, but yeah, we're buying a house. We can't wait to have everybody over and, you know, see it and stuff like that. So we're excited. So, but
like he said, we have had a few obstacles, but we're just waiting for one more thing to go through, and then we can officially sign the papers, and it will be ours.
Yes.
And then we'll give y'all like a little house tour, and we'll post pictures of it and everything, obviously. So
let's do it. So, but yeah, that's the end of this video. So, like, subscribe, comment, tell us what your favorite. Tell us what your favorite question was and your favorite response. I'm sure we'll do one of these in the future again. So just have those questions locked and loaded.
Yeah, I was gonna say we hope we answered everyone's questions they had.
Yes. If your question didn't make it, sorry.
Yeah, we didn't want to make the video like forever long.
It's probably already long, but that's okay, because we love y'all. So like, share, subscribe, comment, and we'll see y'all next time.